if your party were actually in the lead and all of these still happened, would you have called for a cancellation?
Well, if I have to win an election, if my party has to win an election, it has to be a free and fair process. It has to be won in a very comfortable way, in an honorable way. Do you understand? If my party is claiming victory, and I know that in the opposition enclave, that nothing happened there, no opposition stronghold, then our candidate, Chris Ngige, is not somebody who can dismiss in Anambra State. And if he speaks, you have to pay attention, you have to listen to him. We're not saying it because we lost. If you must be the winner, how did you win? Did you win honorably? Did you win in a free and fair process? Were the laws broken?
You said,
Because,
you know, the thing that struck me when you started your giving your side of the story was what you said, that from what you saw, you doubt that elections have been holding in this country.
85%.
It's a grave statement that you made.
Yes.
What are the indicators? I mean, what exactly made you think that way?
1/36. One state, small state out of 36, you cannot mobilize resources, men and women, to make sure that people do not complain. If we had got it right, why would the result not be made public? Why are we saying that it's inconclusive?
What results are those? Because, I mean, here on front page of this day, we have some results here. In fact, yesterday, some results were actually announced. We have that the difference between we do have some results. I mean, number of results cancelled, 113, 113. That's 113,113. The difference between the voter, the current winner or the person who's leading and the runner-up is about 79,000. So we do have figures that we are working with.
There was a caveat there. That the voided votes is more than the difference between the man who is the first and the second.
Exactly.
What can you take out of that? What can you make out of that?
But you know, this is the first time that this is happening. What you have said is that 85% of the time it's possible that elections never really took place.
That is my take.
Why do you have that stance? Because, I mean, you have also said that Anambra seems, even though it's a really small state, has its own peculiarities that, you know, have brought about this particular situation. And you seem to be talking about the influences of money and money bags.
Yes, I'm talking as a mathematician, as an engineer, as a scientist. And I'm saying, if we cannot conduct an election in a very small state, like Anambra State, with access roads everywhere, and get it right, then you cannot tell me that you can conduct elections in 36 states of the Federation.
What you seem to have been suggesting is that even the conclusion I get from that is that you cannot say that you have conducted elections in the ones that you actually did before.
Yes, that's why we've been calling for an electoral, for us to reform our electoral process. That's why we're calling for that. You know, Anambra State is telling us what is going to happen in 250. You know, when we go, our people talk, you know, the government decide who becomes a governor anywhere. The ones they cannot fight, they cannot move into the distort, they just leave it. But the ones they can handle, they don't care whoever. You
have heard Professor Jaga blame politicians, the desperateness of politicians, you know, to grab power. You've talked about, you know, political parties even on that day, or not the political parties, you seem to be talking about security agencies involving themselves also in distributing money. We had a guest here yesterday who said they saw political parties actively doling out money. I mean, chances are that your party might not have been excluded from this.
No, I saw it. I said it's big business everywhere.
So your party?
Was your party involved? I was not distributing money. I don't know about it. I didn't go there to vote because I didn't register there. But I saw one. You need to see the level of political corruption I saw in my town. First, a particular candidate told them that your vote is money. And he told them, look, I'm going to pay you 10,000 if you cast your vote. Even though at the end of the day they were giving 500. So somebody with one voter's card traded, got money from probably my party, probably LP, probably PDP, and only for him to go and cast just one vote. I don't know whom that young man voted for.
Well,
that's what we saw.
Why do we?
The thing is that laws were being broken.
Yes, and of course, by political parties, not by.
But catch one person.
But that's
catch one person.
You see,
and jail one person.
Catch
one person and deal with that person.
That has always been the case, yes. And that is why some of these scenarios you've painted, I'm so excited about them because you've been a player and you were able to see all of this, but you didn't capture the moment. You didn't capture it and report so that we can now be talking about prosecution. I don't think you reported any of these cases, because if you actually saw someone doling out money and you also have it in good authority that someone comes home richer and super rich every time there is an election, I think if you were actually going to help Nigeria, you should have done that a long time ago by reporting such individual. Don't you think that there's more to all of this? We should be able to show the way and follow it through.
You know, my take is this. I share the blame too as a Nigerian, as somebody from Anambra State, because everybody must do his own duty. He saw his own duty. You see, we're not going to import people from Cameroon to come and help us do these things. People must do it. But we must put all our cards on the table to make sure that things work the way we have planned it. A president or an incumbent governor sitting down somewhere must not say, this election, I must win it. Is it?
But
laws is it?
But
I wonder why we have not.
That is the way. That is the way with all political parties. If your party is the party at the center in state A, they make sure that even in local government elections, every other election they win it by all costs. So it cuts across. So people should be asking politicians like yourself, technocrats like yourself, why is it so that if party A is in charge of state B, well, they win it all through?
Let me tell you something. I registered in Lagos, and I know that I'm not going to go to the east to vote. But you know, most of the people that are registered voters in Lagos went to the east, registered, and they voted.
No, you cannot. You cannot claim. Do you have any evidence? Because just as some would have seen you there on election day, they would have thought that you have come home to vote.
We are telling them that our biometric machines will detect them. But these things are not in place. These things are not in place. You see, I'm not trying to isolate myself from the problem because I'm part of the system. What I want is the system to work. If I have a free and fair process and I lose, I will go home.
Mr. Bogo, this system working, don't you think the political parties need to re-engineer themselves? Because that win at all costs syndrome appears to be coming from, it's like a gene, a trait in the political parties.
Let me tell you, in Lagos in 2011, Dosumu was there. After the elections, he just went away. He didn't go to court because he saw what happened. Honestly, I've been involved in 2007 elections in Lagos, 2011. He just went away because it was evident. You saw it, everybody saw it.
This is the same INEC that conducted the elections.
Well, now, why are people complaining? Okay, why is it that materials were not taken to Idemili North and Idemili South? They got there by 4 p.m. 4 p.m. And we said, no, it cannot happen. No, you cannot, I'm coming. It cannot happen. And they said, okay, INEC accepted. I moved the elections the next day, on Sunday. And we said, look, you cannot go to elections on Sunday.
What I'm trying to...
In Anambra State, because people will be in the church.
What I'm faulting...
I don't know what happened. I drove on Sunday. I just tried to monitor. Because I should have a report to give. And they said the election is going to start by 8:30. I left Nnewi by 9 o'clock, and I drove through Idemili. I didn't see any election of
Mr.
any
Bokwe,
electoral
what I'm
officer.
trying to fault is
Yes.
the stance. I mean, your conclusion that 85% of the time when we have had elections in the past, it's possible that elections never took place. Because you just gave the instance of 2011, and you said that there have been instances where INEC seems to have done a good job, or a relatively good job.
That's why I removed that 15%. Are you getting me? I said 85%. I removed 15%. I removed 15%. Putting into consideration some areas where you have vibrant people. Because I remember what happened in Imo State in 2011. The youths, they said, look, nobody is going to take this election from, and they stood their ground.
So what is your
And
party doing
it
on
was a
this
free and
particular
fair
election
process.
as you leave now? What are we expecting from your party concerning the Anambra elections?
If things are done properly, if we get materials, if they go to, I don't know what INEC has in mind, but I know that they were not prepared for that election, full preparation. I mean, and I also want the Anambra, is it Resident Electoral Commission, that Professor Onukongo, I want that man removed.
All right.
Because he's old and he's corrupt. We have had issues with him in the past. He doesn't have the capacity to handle that job, or the honesty and integrity required for that exalted office. That's the only way, because when you are biased or when you are partial, people cannot, the trust will not be there.
Well, I'm sure that the electoral umpire, well, at the center, should have gotten the petition from your party, as well as other political parties, well, who will be coming subsequently on the program to give their own side. Joy Bukwe would like to thank you so very much. He's the interim publicity secretary of the All Progressives Congress here in Lagos. Well, he also monitored the elections, also an indigene of Anambra State. Well, we'll take another moment here on Sunrise Daily, and we'll be back shortly. Stay with us.